Greetings, welcome. My name is Jennifer, and I'm here to discuss with you a major issue that I am recognizing with our youth right now in our world today. And the real problem in our world right now is that the school systems are full of millions of children, and all of these kids are dealing or trying to deal or not dealing with, I should say, stress, anxiety, depression, anger, addictions, health issues, emotional instability, all of these things that are affecting them. And we all know as teachers and as parents that this really affects their ability to learn what's being taught in the classroom. Thankfully, this can easily be addressed in the educational system as well as at home. Easily. It can easily be addressed. And these problems not only affect the individual, but they extend out, right? They extend into the classroom, into their families, the communities, into every part of our world. And especially as they grow older and they integrate into the world, they don't have ways to handle all of this information that's coming in. It just builds up and it stresses them out even more. Then people end up getting scared, right? And they start going down paths of security, but not really being who they want to be. We end up just getting stuck. So our education systems, currently they're geared towards knowledge of the outer world and what to do to take care of the outer world. And really very little is being done in regards to integrating the outer world in our inner lives. The main problem here is the mindset and the processing of any stimuli in a way that is in accordance with the nervous system. Now, this is crucial. This is crucial to the general functioning of our state of being. There are time-tested research solutions that have not been integrated into the educational system as of yet. And again, this can easily be done. So what I've done is I've created a program. It's called School of Insight. Now, this is a one-of-a-kind program that integrates the solutions into the lives of the youth through art and meditation, and it alleviates these problems. Now, by giving students tools to create their proper mindsets, they are able to simply, easily, and repeatedly alleviate tension, stress, and any other negative aspects. In turn, they have the power. They have power to live happier and more focused lives as their nervous system is functioning in a healthy manner. Now, I worked in the educational system as a teacher, and some of the schools that I taught in, they were very intense and rough. Angry kids would not be able to handle their emotions. They'd get really violent. Sometimes they'd be throwing desks around, just picking up supplies and just tossing them around and stomping. They would not be able to handle themselves, and they'd go on some kind of rampage. And they would do this in all of the different classrooms. So what I did is I started to integrate meditative techniques into the beginning of my classes. And I made my room a place where kids could come during lunch to reset themselves. And I was really impressed at how all of the ages took to these simple practices from kindergarten all the way up and through college-age kids, I should say. I've worked with adults as well. But it's really interesting how all ages really do take to these practices and how much they love them. The kids that struggled the most, they would be the ones that would gravitate to me the most and to the solutions that I had. And really, this is due to me helping them recreate the way that they work with their minds and emotions and how to have proper mindsets which affected their entire lives. These kids became happy and they loved what they were experiencing and learning. And I've noticed that many teachers recently, they're starting to advise kids to meditate or give them a tiny practice for the classroom. But really there isn't much information out there for the kids or the teachers, and what there is scattered around, and it doesn't have much substance to it, and there's not much at all geared towards youth and the Western mindset. So that's where the School of Insight comes into play. I have put together this program to solve this serious and often overlooked problem. Even though so many people know there is a problem, they don't know what to do, and it really gets swept under the rug, and people are like, man, yeah, it's really hard for them. And that's it. So, for example, my son, he's 16. He came home from school one day and completely surprised me. I did not see this coming, but he said that his health teacher discussed the health benefits of meditation with them. This, it really intrigued him. He became very interested in meditation for the first time, grew up around it all the time, and it was just kind of like mom's thing or whatever, and no interest. But through school, he became interested because of the way that it was brought to him. Somebody else brought it to him, or whatever the reasons. It didn't matter. But the teacher did not give the students any information where to turn to or any practices to work with. So my son, he of course, did the usual that kids do, or that we all do, I should say. He went on the online and he found a couple things on YouTube, and he started to try them out. He really enjoyed it, but there just wasn't enough information for him. So very quickly, he actually started coming to me for advice. And I started looking around trying to help him find things, geared towards that age and everything as well. And there isn't anything. So I've realized that the time has come to create a program for kids and teachers to have access to. The amount of stress and anxiety and depression, the lack of focus, and all of these unhealthy negative states, they're deep into the lives of our youth. And we know this because we experience it as adults. It's deep into the lives of adults. And it's time to change this. So in School of Insight, I not only guide on how to handle and alleviate the stresses, but I also replace these with methods of creativity and right brain activity. And I also integrate learning to be in a state of a calm, peaceful stillness. Without having this experience and knowing how to do it, we don't even know it's possible, we don't know exists, and then our minds and emotions, they end up taking control. And you know what? We're not even aware of it. We don't even know that we're not in control. This is really a bad habit. That's it. It's a habit with the way that we think and process information. And we all know habits are much harder to change as we grow older. And by integrating these good habits of proper mindset into the youth, will quickly transform our entire society within these generations, these upcoming generations. Take for example, if you had a room full of 5-year-olds. Put all of these kids into a room. Let's say you have 35-year-olds, no supervision. What happens? It turns into chaos on every level. Everybody goes into different directions, and fighting starts to happen, and random things start to go on. And the same thing happens with our minds and our emotions. If we don't have a way to organize them or clear out the space, work with them, this type of thing, it turns into chaos. So by practicing these methods that I have and working with both hemispheres of the brain as well as a neutral state of peace, it takes over it removes the extreme focus that we have right now in our culture of left brain activity. And this left brain activity is so prevalent in our culture today, and it's not healthy. So what School of Insight does is it takes the student into themselves, exposes them to their creative nature and how to access and apply this in their lives so that they are empowered. They're empowered to create the way in which they live rather than being reactionary products of their unconscious emotions, thoughts, and choices. The results are really happy, creative youth. They're able to transform their own lives and minds and emotions from fear, anxiety, stress, all these things we've been talking about, and transform them into joy, creativity, self-awareness, empowerment, and basic happiness. This quickly transforms the students into active, excited learners that are more able to participate in their learning process. The School of Insight is a solution to this serious problem. Now together we have the ability to empower our youth and our future into a state of balance. And after you purchase this program, I will work with you to make sure that the program integrates well into your particular situation, and we can get things transformed immediately. Contact me at the email that's running along the screen here. And thank you, and I really truly look forward to serving you, to helping you and your students.